Epic Originals presents Nellie Nutgraf, the double best reporter in history. Book 2, Breaking News, Part 3. By Tom Angleberger. Performed by Ramon Diocampo. Chapter 6. Just then, Sacagawea rode up on a motorcycle. "Hey, Nellie," she said. "Why are you jumping up and down and yelling about underwear?"
"And why do you smell like bean dip?"
asked Sacagawea's baby, Jean-Baptiste, who was strapped to her back.
"It's a long story,"
said Nellie.
"but what I want to hear is your story. Did you get Lewis and Clark to the Pacific Ocean?"
"Nope," said Sacagawea.
"What? Why not?"
"We were about a mile from the ocean when Lewis and Clark heard Morse was releasing the new telegraph today, so they went to go stand in line to get one."
"Great googly moogly!"
yelled Nellie.
"That means Hotshot Terbletsky won't have a front page story for tomorrow. But I will." "You will?"
asked Jean-Baptiste.
"What is it?"
"The story about how the new telegraph went on sale and—"
"How can you get that story if you're standing here talking to us right now?"
Nellie started to answer, but her mouth just fell open. No sound came out, but inside her head, her brain was yelling, "This is an outrage!" This was Nellie's own fault, she realized. If she had listened to Brian the editor, she'd be getting the story right now. She couldn't blame this on anyone else. But, like I've told you before, Nellie is pretty smart. She told her brain to stop yelling and start thinking. And it told her to ask Sacagawea for a ride.
"Can you please take me to the telegraph store?"
asked Nellie.
"I've got to get there in an hour."
"Sorry, but it's almost rush hour," said Sacagawea.
"The traffic is going to be terrible. Only a stampeding herd of buffalo could get you there in time." "Oh, look! Here comes one now,"
said Jean-Baptiste. The baby pointed to a stampeding herd of buffalo that was thundering past. They disappeared over the prairie in seconds, leaving only a cloud of dust behind them.
"But they already passed us,"
groaned Nellie.
"This isn't out." "Stop complaining and jump on!"
shouted Sacagawea. Nellie jumped on the back of the motorcycle just as Sacagawea gunned the engine and zoomed off in hot pursuit of the buffalo.
"Here's a spare helmet,"
said Jean-Baptiste.
"You better put it on." "You must have a fascinating story to tell,"
said Nellie as she put on the helmet.
"Can I interview you for the newspaper and take your photo?" "Sure,"
said Jean-Baptiste.
"Just let me put my baby bonnet on." Baby born on cross-country trip demands chicken nuggets. Jean-Baptiste, the son of famed wilderness guide Sacagawea, is not happy with the number of chicken nuggets available in the wilderness. "I've traveled thousands of miles without eating a single chicken nugget," complained the child who was born during Lewis and Clark's famous expedition. There's not a single restaurant that serves chicken nuggets west of the Mississippi River. Jean-Baptiste dreams of a day when kids will have a chance to eat chicken nuggets wherever they go and choose from at least 4 different dipping sauces.
As Nellie finished her interview with Jean-Baptiste, Sacagawea caught up to the buffalo.
"Excuse me, where are you stampeding to?"
Nellie asked one of the buffalo. "To the Telegraph store," he said. "The new one is out today."
"May I get a ride?"
asked Nellie. "Sure," said the buffalo. Nellie jumped off the motorcycle and onto the buffalo's back.
"Good luck with your story,"
called Sacagawea and Jean-Baptiste, and they sped away to the nearest chicken nugget restaurant. Chapter 7. Nellie was stampeding toward the Telegraph store on the back of a buffalo. Did I mention that before Nellie became a reporter, she was a champion bull rider? Compared to a bull, riding a buffalo is easy. Plus, their backs are kind of furry. And snuggly.
"Hello, I'm Nellie Nutgraf with the Big City Big News,"
Nellie said to the buffalo. "Hi, I'm Reginald with a thundering herd of bison."
"Bison? I thought you were buffalo,"
exclaimed Nellie. "Well," said Reginald, "a lot of people call us buffalo, but the truth is that we are American bison."
"Wow,"
said Nellie.
"I'm glad you told me. If I had made that mistake in my story, I would have had to write a correction tomorrow."
"You mean you're going to mention us in your story?"
"Of course,"
said Nellie.
"In fact, let me go ahead and take a photo."
"Just let us put on our hats," yelled the thundering herd.
Click.
The vast herd of bison stormed across the prairie, took a left turn at the Grand Canyon, and merged onto the expressway. They stomped over the Golden Gate Bridge into San Francisco. Sacagawea had been right. The traffic was awful. But the bison just stampeded over anything that got in their way. Then they all got in cable cars and rode up the hill to the Morse Company Telegraph store. It was 4:59. Nellie had made it. It was a wild scene in front of the store. People were a-pushing and a-shoving each other, trying to get the front of the line. Samuel Morse was yelling at everybody to settle down, but they wouldn't. However, everybody listened when they heard the thundering hooves of the stampeding herd. Nellie jumped off Reginald's back when she saw Lewis and Clark. She tried to interview them, but they were in the middle of a fight with Thomas Jefferson. "What are you two doing here?" yelled Thomas Jefferson. "I sent you out to explore the Louisiana Purchase, not butt in front of me in line." "We didn't butt in line," said Clark. "King George III was saving our place." "No fair," yelled Thomas Jefferson, and he was so mad that he stomped off to write the Declaration of Independence. "I'm glad he left," said Susan B. Anthony. "He kept stepping on my foot."
Mine too, said Linda the Bigfoot. But I do have rather big feet.
He's not as bad as George Washington, said Willie Mays. That guy dropped a big, greasy sandwich on my brand-new uniform.
Do I smell bean dip?
Asked Betsy Ross. I just want to know when this line is going to start moving, said Paul Revere. I've got to get to Boston by midnight. Nellie wrote down lots of quotes and took lots of pictures of famous people, bison, horses, and even Clark's dog. Woof, said Clark's dog, and you can quote me on that.
Now this is going to be a huge front-page story,
thought Nellie with a big smile. Chapter 8. Meanwhile, on the rocky Pacific shore in Oregon, Hotshot Terbletsky was still waiting for Lewis and Clark to show up. "This is an outrage," he yelled, but no one was there to hear him. Chapter 9. Reginald came running out of the Telegraph store. "I got it!" he yelled. "I got the very first Telegraph 22.5. "Wow, he's one lucky buffalo," said Lewis. "You mean bison," said Clark. "Dit-a-dit-dit-a-dit-dit. I'm getting a message," yelled Reginald. "Dit-a-dat-dit-dit-a-dit-dit. It's for you," said Reginald to Nellie.
I wonder who it's from.
It was from me, Paul Bunyan. This story took so long to carve out on the ice that spring came, the ice melted, and I fell into the lake. And I can't swim. Luckily, I'm really tall, so it takes me a long time to sink. Nellie jumped on Reginald, and they thundered all the way up here just as my beard was getting wet. Nellie made a lasso out of typewriter ribbon and threw it around one of my big ears. Then she, Reginald, and my ox, Babe, pulled me to shore. "Thanks, Nellie," I called, but she was already on her way to the newspaper office. The following day, we read all about it on the front page of the Big City Big News. There wasn't an underwear ad in sight. Human bison herds collide to create new Telegraph sales record.
By Nellie Nutgraf.
"Whoa, man, we are like totally rolling in money now," said Samuel Morse, inventor of the Telegraph. "Sadly, we'll have to spend a lot of it to clean up after the bison. They are not house-trained." Morse went on to promise that the next version of the Telegraph will be even better.
"We're working closely with Johnny Appleseed to add typewriter keyboards to the telephone," said Morse, "and invent little tiny cameras now that George has invented the selfie." Extra, extra. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark led the first official U.S. government expedition across the country, beginning in 1804. They really did have a dog on the trip, but it was not a talking dog, as far as I know. They were helped by Sacagawea,
a young Native American woman. As you can imagine, making that trip 200 years ago, long before motorcycles or chicken nuggets, must have been very difficult. Sacagawea had the extra challenge of having a baby, Jean-Baptiste, along the way. Read more about their expedition on Epic in the book Off the Map, The Journals of Lewis and Clark, edited by Peter and Connie Roop. Bison are real, but did not ride on streetcars, and they don't talk. At least, I've never heard them speak. There are many books about bison on Epic. Don't miss Nellie Nutgraf's next wild adventure, The Big Scoop. Coming soon.